Hey everyone, welcome to our review of Mashin Sentai Kiramager, episode 41. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze.
My dude, welcome back. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything that you guys said on the in the comment section for this episode. But before that, we will get into our thoughts on the episode, and I thought, man, sleeper hit. Everyone was like laughing at, oh yeah, Kiramager is doing absolutely nothing with the last 5 episodes. We're doing a Catgirl episode, but it was good. We got some really nice Crunchula. It sounds like I'm describing my love for this serial. We're getting very good Crunchula development. And it's something I didn't expect, but it's something that I ended up very much enjoying.
Yeah. Unlike you, from last week, when I saw that preview, I knew this was going to be a banger episode.
Hey, I didn't
But,
say that it was gonna be bad.
but, I didn't expect it to be a banger episode in this regard. I thought it would just be all the cat stuff, which was good on its own. Like, I will say that.
Fair.
But the Crunchula stuff, I didn't really expect them to make that little bridge between him and Juru being creators, amongst themselves. I was duh, like of course that would be like the perfect like parallel to have between these guys. But I just thought that they wouldn't try to redeem any of these characters because it was kind of like happening so late, and there's nothing really happening. Or I guess there was like little bits of like Crunchyroll not really being satisfied with his like place there, but I didn't think there would be anything to kind of like lean him over to like the Kiramager side or anything like that. Like maybe he would just be really pissed off at everyone and get offed by, the big bad, which did happen this episode, but out of nowhere, Garza maybe saved him. Maybe he's planning on using him for other things,
I don't know.
So
Like, what this really played into for me was like, it sort of explained the low stakes nature of this show so far. Just because, you know, he has been here to be creative, and that is like, it's been his main motivation, and it adds sort of some context to everything we've seen before. We get that he wants to destroy, civilizations with the things they find frivolous and all that stuff. And we thought, oh, that's just a fun thing. But no, that's his passion. That's what he loves. That's what he wants to do. That is his goal. And we learned that this episode. And like I said, it recontextualizes everything that we've seen out of the villain so far. And on top of that, it it firmly cements Yodon, Emperor Yodon, as like the main villain. Like, he's the one that's supposed to get stuff done. These guys are just having fun for a little bit. So I feel like that also, in a sense, raises the stakes a little more, or at least like shows a clear division between Yodana and what she's up to with Emperor Yodon, and what Garza and Crunchula have been up to this whole time.
yeah. And I also, speaking of Yodona, I didn't expect that whole plot line of her like separating Crunchula to like actually kind of come through in this episode, because like when they did separate them, like he did lose like a part of himself. So maybe it was like that truly evil part of him, because like he's always kind of been like sadistic. He's having a lot of fun making people miserable, but like when he's kind of like explaining himself, just like, you know what, like that's my pride. It's like taking all the stuff from this planet and using it against them, like that's like a thrill. But like
that's
after
interesting that you bring that up, because I do want to go back and rewatch that episode where it was part of him, to see, to sort of evaluate, like, okay, which monster did we get that week, and like which one did that part of himself create, if it was only a part of him that created that monster that week. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought with that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. The shenanigans with the rest of the crew was also amazing. And I'm pretty sure, like I just said that like the very beginning, but
Yeah.
the chemistry kind of like going off of like all these guys. I remember like that one scene where like Sayo just kind of like being the cat up on Blue. He's like, you know what, this is fine. You know,
Nothing needs to change here.
it's like Crunchyroll is finally doing good here, but that cat thing being like his trump card for the entire thing, like that that was uh that was something very unexpected. Like I didn't expect the cat thing to be that trump card. I just assumed that they're just gonna be goofing around for like one more episode before,
Mhm.
Emperor Yodon's like, all right, well I have enough. Let's just get this shit done. But eh, um, after all that stuff happened, like I think like that tension scene between like Yodona and Crunchyroll was also really really good because
Mhm.
like she's kind of like being her usual self and like the way that Crunchyroll kind of snaps and like her like also just kind of like going full, force, just like, you know what, you're just like a traitor. Like, stop. It's like, can you stop like actually goofing off? Because she was like really serious about that. Because like multiple like weeks or multiple episodes, in the past, she's given Crunchyroll so much shit for like, why are you making such shit monsters that don't do anything? Let me take it over. And he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm done with this shit. Like, this is my art, and you're messing with my art, and I'm really fucking anal about it now.
I
Oh
liked it.
man,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
real
great.
solid stuff.
hmm Um, the notion that he seems liberated at this point and him wanting to defect is a good thing. Like them framing that as a good thing, kind of contradicts the lesson that they put together in the episode with splitting Green apart. And I know you hated that one, but the message was you need all parts of yourself to be whole, to be yourself. And then this one was like, oh, well, we did away with number 5. Crunchula doesn't seem to be himself, but this Crunchula is much better. Let's keep this one. That is exactly the mentality that went into Greens and why they didn't want to bring that 5th one back in.
Yeah, but like the thing about that episode was that Cautious Senna never really existed in the first place, so it was just like a
I
figment
know.
of their imagination, and they never really intended on following through with the moral of that story, even in
I
that
get it.
episode. So
Yeah.
you know what? This makes sense. I'm totally down with it.
It explains that portion away of like him being good now if they want to do that, but it I will say that is some conflicting messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of like some weird messaging, like when Crunchyroll was kind of like having his, breakthrough that he's gonna like turn sides and stuff, they had like a lot of shots of like Garza, like kind of watching this kind of like unfold, and he's like, like this is my true passion, like this is why I'm actually doing all this stuff. And I'm not sure if they're like trying to throw like a red herring or something like, oh, maybe Garza might come back to the good side or something like that, or he's gonna like double down and be like, you know what, being evil is my passion. I totally understand, Crunchula.
I mean, like, the dude is just as savage as Yodana. If you remember, like, way early on, there were these two monster brothers, the heater one and the
Yeah,
ice
remember that
one.
one.
Yeah, yeah, that one, where he murked one of the brothers in favor of the other one and
Just
just
to piss him
leaned in
off.
hard. Yeah, like I can definitely see it turning the way that you're describing. Like, he will go full evil because that's his passion. He wants to realize his greatest passion
Yeah.
of being evil.
I'm not really sure how I can go back on having a casual duel with your nephew and then just attempting to kill him all of a sudden
Yeah,
because you were losing. Uh,
that's
there's
the
no way to
thing.
redeem that.
We weren't shown good Garza. We don't know if there's any sort of good version of Garza, and I really hope they don't flimsily try to redeem him just because we don't know enough about his past.
I
Um,
mean, he's got to be pretty chill with Mabushina at least. because she was actually torn that he was evil
That's true.
and
Well,
that he killed her father. But
well, that's another thing. Like they establish new things about their story, their past, and their lore that flies directly in the face of some of the other things. Like he did straight up go and try to murder Silver, and the king stopped it. He also just let him exist within the castle still, and like I don't get it, and was surprised when he was trying to take over.
yeah, I mean, if
I don't
Orden was
know.
like Mufasa, he would just banished him to like the freaking graveyard or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, he ended up there eventually. Um. All right. Hey, do you want to hop into some comments? All right. So this first one comes from Dustin Smith, and Dustin Smith has quite a bit to say. I'm opening it up on a separate one just so I can see it clearly this time. Um, oh no, that's not helpful. Perfect.
I already hate
Uh,
this comment. You start your comments with a pun, we're just not going to read it.
No, Alex, we have to. He put an entire essay, his dissertation of Kiramager in the comment section. We must oblige him. Let's see. I'm trying for whatever reason, YouTube won't show me like the full version of this. So I have to go here. Perfect. First of all, Crunchula. I much rather prefer not making him sound like a cereal. It's friggin' stupid. I think it's lovely. This episode
Oh, so
answered
he's trying to say tarantula, like
Tarantula? No, no.
tarantula, like tarantula.
Crunchula. Um, this episode answered the major reason why Crunchula is so significant in the series, because before we really questioned why is he here, he's not a very effective villain, especially with coming with most the dumbest concepts for monsters of the week, and on the few occasions where they were legitimate threats be entirely coincidental. But now that they established that he's supposed to like Juru, but one that was roped into using his creations to hurt others, and that was the only option. I disagree because he he was overjoyed by destroying other civilizations. That was part of his passion, which definitely could have gotten destroyed away. He just wanted to do it creatively, and that's his passion. Um, Instead of what he really wanted to do was make Marskman and Marskbeast out of his own pride of having the power to create them and show off. It makes sense. I really like the scene with Juru and Karantula making the butterfly mural. Also, this might sound a bit weird, but I'm not going to lie. I found Cat Juru kind of adorable. Also, Senna and Sayo were pretty cute as cats. Speaking of which, this episode definitely seems like the writers wanted a tongue-in-cheek to the furries and watch Sentai. First, you
No,
have Manki Neko, Beckoning Cat, or Lucky Cat in Marsk. That's theme is based on an iconic cat antique from Asia, the Beckoning Cat, and apparently the Kiramagers look at that as Crunchula is running out of ideas. Interesting because I would picture running out of ideas if he were to create a Mars piece based off a pair of socks or a blank piece of paper. I still consider this selection of particularly one of those well recognized cat figurines still shows a bit of innovation on his part to come up with that. But anyways, then the next blatant winking of the furry watchers is the Marskman's ability to cause humans to act like cats, and not just that, but also give them cat ears, the kind you would find at a furcon. Uh, so yes, I would say this episode is a shout out to the Sentai watchers that are in the furry fandom. The liked the voice change when Lucky Cat and Mars got whipped by Yodana, how his voice went from gravelly to deep and gruff, sounding just so off his strength. For Crunchula's final Marsk for the series, he was a decent choice, although I could have done without the fart scene. I don't need to have Victor and Monty Ninja Steel flashbacks, but ultimately a solid episode. The endgame begins in the next episode, and I can hardly wait to see what goes down. Meow.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I stopped paying attention during the latter half. I'm so sorry, Dustin Smith.
Fantastic. All right, let's let's move on to this next and last comment that comes from K. John, who says this week's superhero time is simply superb. In Saber, we have that awesome free-for-all four-way battle, and in Kiramager, we have the Kiramager fighting in cat style. The choreography of the fight at the end reminds me of Gao Ranger when they unleash the claws. But the real highlight of this episode is definitely Crunchula's development and his interaction with Juru. The scenes where the two of them had fun together is so wholesome. I love how Crunchula admitted that he loves having fun on Earth. Then we have Yodana, who comes in and spoils all the fun. At this point, I doubt that Yodana's going to be redeemed. After learning that she's the Emperor's vessel, she still has a cold and evil. She's still as cold and evil as ever. I just don't see how can she possibly be redeemed and survive the show when we only have 4 episodes left.
We have 4 whole episodes left. They have done redemptions in one single episode and killed them off in the same episode multiple times. So
yeah, we have time. We do have time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all for the comments. Thank you for leaving them. Something I did want to mention, when they did do the Kiramager roll call, how Blue and Yellow immediately were like, all right, we're doing the cat thing. We're just going for it. And they went full force in it. That brawl was really great. I will say that. That was pretty good. Anyways, Alex, do you have anything else you wanted to talk about with this episode?
Nah.
All right. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this episode, hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to hear more from us each week, tell us in the comments down below what you thought about, our thoughts about, your thoughts about this episode. And also, while you're down there are still links in the description down below to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, and watching videos. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it.
See ya.
Whew. I think we had a pretty good discussion.
Yeah.
Like I brought up more things than I thought I would in terms of like the history of Kiramager.
Yeah.